Hello YouTube. Now what I'm going to talk about probably won't affect most of you now, because I would imagine most of you are well under the age of 50. But this would be of benefit, I would imagine, if you got uncles, older brothers, fathers, whatever. So for the more mature listener, this kind of goes out to you really. I'm talking about prostate cancer, and it's, as some of you already know, black men, in particular men of Afro-Caribbean origin, are the hardest hit, such as myself. So before I sort of go on to the juicy points, 2005, December 2005, December the 4th, I believe. Sadly, my father passed away with prostate cancer, and it was on my bucket list to get myself checked out for many years after that. You know how it is with us men. We mean to do things, and it takes us a while to get round. But I start seeing adverts on the bold posters, Linford Christie, appealing to especially black men, get yourself checked out. And fortunately I did. I got myself checked out last year, and fortunately for me, they found something. Once I told them that my father died of it, they were on it straight away. Now in my case, I wasn't benign, but I wasn't advanced neither. So as a result, November the 23rd, 2017, I had the radical prostatectomy, which means I had my prostate removed. So I'm not gonna go. I've got a YouTube videos about my journey with prostate cancer on my other channel, but you could check that out on Ron S Talent Club. You could check that. So I'm not gonna go in too much about the process of the radical prostatectomy operation and stuff. That's not what I want to talk to you about. What I want to talk to you about, I want to talk to you about the more juicy bit, the more fun bit that most guys would want to know about. Sex life post-operation. Now, for those of you who don't know, that when you've had your prostate taken out, okay, it takes approximately 18 months for your erection to naturally return, give or take, because not every man's the same. Some men it will be sooner, some men it will take a bit longer, but on average it takes about 18 months for you to get your erection back without the aids of pills or vacuum pumps. Okay, so to the guys who's got a supportive partner, i.e. wife, girlfriend or partner, whatever your sexual orientation is, if you've got a supportive partner who understands that during those 18 months you are sexually handicapped, so they got to make an effort to encourage you. In other words, they got to go the extra mile to encourage you to get turned on, because you being turned on is the aid to your recovery. The more blood flow you get down in your penis direction, because your muscles and your nerves are damaged, and it takes about 18 months for it. It takes for the first, in my case, for the first 6 months, it was a dead zone. It took about 6 months before I start seeing life down there. Things are going good, but they're obviously not back to where they were. Anyway, so during that time, the more blood flow you can get going down there, the quicker and better your recovery will be. So of course, if you're with a supportive wife, she'll understand this, and she would go the extra mile to get you stimulated. But if you haven't got a wife or a steady girlfriend, such as myself, I'm a bit fly by night. I've got, let's call it, friends with benefits. Now, as many of you guys know, there's two types of women on this planet. I've said this before. You got a maker, and a maker is a type that supports you, has your back, and the two of you work as a team, right? They're the golden women, right? They're the women that men long for and hope to end up with. And then unfortunately you got the majority, which are the takers. Now, if you've got the misfortune of dealing with a taker, and taker unfortunately will expect you to do all the work, and despite the fact that you're sexually handicapped, she won't make much of an effort to get you aroused, and it wouldn't really be on her radar to already make the effort to get you going. You know, lack of blowjobs, hand jobs would be very minimal, dressing up in sexy underwear, non-existent. She just expects you to do all the work, expects you to go down on her, you do all the fingering, you make all the first moves. You know, it leaves it to you to make all the suggestions to change positions and stuff. She's just quite selfish. She would just, you know, she would take it for granted that just because you're operating, that things are just normal. Where in your case, things are not normal. Now, I'll emphasize my point. Now, some of you might be asking yourself, well, if it takes 18 months for your manhood to recover, how are you having sex in the meantime, apart from tablets? I'll come to the tablets in a minute. Okay, I'll show you something. How do I manage to get my end away? Because, you know, I'm a man that still likes my action. May I introduce to you the vacuum pump. The vacuum pump. This has been my lifesaver. Obviously, how it works, you put a bit of gel. You open this up like so. Whoa! Can't waste that. I need that for later on, man. Hold on. Can't waste good juice. So you smeared it in with a bit of gel, stick your penis in there, and then you pump away, and then of course it will swell your penis into the canister, like so forth. Once you've reached appropriate size and hardness, no, it won't be as hard as your natural hard on, but it'd be a very close second. In my case, I tie the end off, the very end, at the end back. I tie it off with a ladies' tights, like so, and I put a little bow in it, like so. And in addition, I add the rings, the cock rings on, so like so. And then what I do with the valve, it releases, and then I pull off, and then we're good to go. We're good to fuck. Right? And the advantage of that is, like, if you're still leaking, because you at post operation you still leak a bit of urine, but once you're tied off, there's no leakage and so forth, and you still get stimulated. The only difference is, once your prostate's been removed, no more semen. You still ejaculate something, and you still get the good feelings, but no more semen, no more man juice. You can't get a woman pregnant. You can't get a woman pregnant if you tried, and the chance of you passing on any kind of disease again, well, it's non-existent really, because you've got nothing to pass on really. Anyway, but still, it's still, if you're on a one-night stand, still advisable to use a condom. I'm not relinquishing any responsibilities. Anyway, so we know about the vacuum pump and everything. So what do we do with the lazy lover that we have, the taker? What do we do while we have the taker who's not really doing her job and stimulating you? Because at the end of the day, she's a friend with benefit. You're not going to marry her. You have no intentions of living with her. You're not going to set your life up with her. So you're not going to really sit her down and say, honey, this ain't really working out, because she's not valuable enough for you If she was someone you want to live with, or someone you're gonna marry, of course you should sit her down and say, well, look, I'm sexually handicapped, and I need more stimulation than what I'm getting. So, I need a bit more than what you're giving. But if you have no intention of marrying this woman, having no intention of living with this woman, then really, what's the point? What's the point of having a conversation with her? So this is where porn comes in. This is what I suggest. I suggest you watch lots of, find the porn that turns you on. Find the porn that gets you off. And you're free from judgment, you're free from condemnation. And I tell you, it really freaking helps, because as the weeks go by, once you go past that 6 month period and your muscle starts getting stronger, you really start to notice the difference. And so the pills are good, the tablets are good. You will be put on Cialis, Viagra and stuff like that. They're good, but the more natural help you can give yourself, the better it is for you in the long run. So yes, you could use the pills, that's fair enough, but I would suggest lots of porn. My opinion of porn, outside of that, I think porn has a lot of downsides. There's a lot of things about porn I don't like, but in terms of aiding your recovery, if you've had a radical prostatectomy, I think is very good, because it gets the blood flow rushing, and like I said, it reaches a part where your lazy lover can't reach. You see what I'm saying? So this is my advice to any guy who's out there who's got a lazy lover, or you're in a bad marriage and you need recovery. I would suggest the porn, definitely. And if you're way younger than the target age of 50 and so forth, I would just pass this video on. Just pass this video on to especially black men, because you can't have too much knowledge. It's better to know this than not know this, because if God forbid, in the next I don't know which way technology is going to go 10 years from now, you may not need to have an operation. They may have a tablet that you could just swallow and get rid of the cancer that way. But let's just say they don't. Let's just say 10, 20 years, they still got to do the operation. Isn't it better to know this information I'm giving you now? Right? You would agree. Better to know than not to know, right? So there we are. That's my prostate cancer sexual advice. I'm giving you free of charge. You won't find this information on no NHS pamphlet or government pamphlet. This is coming from a guy who's like, I wouldn't call myself a street kid. I'm too old for that. But I used to be a bro from the streets. So I'm a veteran, bro from the street veteran. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and I hope what I've told you is of some use. If it's not for you, at least for your uncle or your father or your grandfather, depending on how young you are. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye.